How's it going, everyone? In this video, IPv6, we're going to be going over the IPv6 rules and also the IPv6 header. And then I believe we'll pause that video and then stay tuned for part 3. Okay, so we're going to start this video out going over the IPv6 rules. So we know that an IPv6 address, 128 bits, converted into hex, a decimal, that is a big address right there. That's a lot of digits, numbers, and letters, right? So IPv6 does have some rules that allow us to compress an IPv6 address by omitting leading zeros. So this is going to be rule 1 we go over. Omitting the leading zeros in an IPv6 address. So you look here, honestly, it's pretty self-explanatory. Really, if there is a leading zero in any of these hextets, you can get rid of them and compress the IPv6 address to look something like this. And if you notice in this last hextet, we only get rid of that leading zero. So these zeros behind the number 2 or any number that isn't 0 has to stay. And that's really it. Really as simple as that. See a little error right here that I'll go and fix for the people that download our slides. It should be A right there, right? But again, that's rule number 1. And this allows us to actually compress our IPv6 addresses, because when we send this address and the computer reads it and converts it to binary, if it just sees a 0 there and it's like, well, hey, I'm missing 12 other bits, because remember, 16 bits in a hextet, it's just going to assume it's all zeros, okay? Because it's like, well, there's nothing, so it has to be my off bits, right? Kind of how computers would read that. And then rule number 2, another pretty easy rule to follow, essentially saying that if you have a continuous segments or hextets of zeros, you can compress them with a double colon. And you can only do it one time. So if you look right here, we did our first rule and took out all the leading zeros. Again, another mistake. I apologize. It should be a 0 right there. We got rid of the leading zeros, and now we have a couple options to compress this even more. We can put a double colon in place of these 2 zeros here. But here's the catch. Only one double colon can be used. So you can either do it right here, or you can do it right here. And that's rule number 2 for compressing IPv6. So again, our 2 rules are what? Omit all 0 segments. I like to say continuous segments, because we have 2 segments here, but we can only do 1, right? Because it's interrupted by other digits, right, in that hextet. So a hextet has to contain 4 zeros to be able to be compressed or condensed to a double colon, right? And it has to be continuous. All right, so let's review our rules. So you can get rid of leading zeros, and then you can also compress continuous 0 segments, or we could say hextets. All right, awesome. Now let's go over the prefix length, of an IPv6 and what the prefix length is. So at this point in our video, I'm assuming that you have already watched our IPv4 videos and our subnetting videos. And if you did and you've mastered subnetting in the vernacular we used, you know that in IPv4, the network bits in our subnet mask are the 1s, and the host bits in our subnet mask are the 0s. So IPv6 kind of follows the same trend. When you see a /64 here, that is saying that those 64 bits are all part of one network or one prefix. And then the last, so out of 128, right? Then the last 64 bits are going to be the unique, and this is kind of IPv6 language, unique interface ID. So these are the interface ID bits. So instead of saying host bits and network bits, we say prefix and interface ID. So just a little history. Why do we call it interface ID instead of just host bits? Well, because when IPv4 came out, machines or devices that connected to the internet, they only had one NIC. And it was probably just Ethernet or whatever they had at the time, right? We're going back maybe the 70s. Who knows if it was Ethernet? But now on modern machines, like if we do IP config, I have multiple network adapters and NICs. So I have 3 different IPv6 addresses assigned to this computer. So to say that these are the host bits would mean that this is the only way I can identify this machine with just those host bits. But that's not true. If you have an Ethernet, a NIC, a wireless NIC, then you could be represented by multiple different IPv6 addresses. And it's up to your computer to decide which connection to take, right? So that's why we call them interface ID bits, because it's for a certain interface. These are the unique bits that identify it, right? So the typical prefix length or network address or subnet mask for an IPv6 is going to be a /64. Okay. And as you can see, like we could compress this down to 2001 colon DB8 colon and then AB0E colon 1. That's a /64. And we would know that this is our prefix, right? Because then the rest of those zeros, okay? So now let's get into subnetting, right? So when would we ever have to subnet? Well, the beauty of IPv6 is there's so many IPv6 addresses and so many different ways we can assign an IPv6 address to our device. We could get an IPv6 subnet assigned to us, and they could be all public or global unicast IPs, meaning my computers actually would be routable on the internet because you don't actually need NAT with IPv6. So typically what you'd see for subnetting is, let's say our company Trepa Tech got assigned 201 0D B8 let's say 000/48. Well, that means that this is what we got assigned. And now for our 10 different sites, we'd have to work with that 4th hextet to give it its own network addresses for those sites. So we could do something like this for, like, if we have site A down here that needs its own IPv6 subnet, we could give it, again, I'm doing some compression, 00:001/64. And now those 64 bits are going to be its own network. And then in that 4th hextet, we can move up to 002, 003. And you see how many subnets we can make from that. A lot, right? So that's how we can identify or subnet IPv6. That's something typical you may see, or you may even see, I can clear this off for everybody, an address like this, 201. Again, I'm just going to do some compression, 08. Say 111100, and then a /56. So now 8 bits, right? So now we're subnetting at this line. So they gave us these bits to subnet from. And now we only have these 2 hextet digits to use for our enterprise, which still gives us a lot to work with, right? Because we have 1 through F here and then 1 through F there. So that's how we can subnet for IPv6, and it's actually really easy because we're just not constrained by the IPv4 address limits, right? Okay, moving on. This will be the last thing we go over before we get into the IPv6 address types, which is, again, is probably every section is important, but according to the CCNA exam objectives, you will be tested on different IPv6 address types, not necessarily IPv6 subnetting. So before we get into that, let's just go over the headers real quick. This is just kind of to point out the major differences in the headers. As you can see here, if you just take a look at this and look at our legend, all the blue fields are not kept in IPv6, so we're already losing a lot of overhead there. Of course, we still have the source and destination. And then we have a new field, this flow label field, to give ourselves some little flow control without use of a layer 4 transmission protocol, which we still use in IPv6. But this is just kind of to showcase that the IPv6 header is actually simpler than IPv4. So again, just the differences between the two. All right. So that's going to be it for this section. Stay tuned for our next section where we're going to go over the different IPv6 address types. Thank you.